Chapter 1. He scowled at me from under blue, hooded eyes blazing with rage, thin lips pulled back slowly, baring his teeth, his fists clenched until blood seeped between his fingers. He thinks he's won. Again. Not this time. I won't let him. I shoved my shoulders back and ground my teeth until my jaw ached. A guttural sound escaped his throat, and he lunged. Air exploded from my mouth, and I jerked up, glancing around the dark bedroom. Clanging pans and the scent of bacon trailing in from the kitchen brought me back to reality. I clutched my chest and sucked in a sharp breath. He's not here. Even 1,500 miles away, he's found a way to invade my dreams. When will the nightmares stop? Detangling clammy sheets from my legs, I shot out of bed and scanned my room once more. He's not here, I said again, just to be sure. I ripped off my sweat-soaked garments, exchanging them for a tank top and holey jeans. The wood floor groaned as I shuffled to the bathroom. Don't look, I told myself when I reached the sink. My eyes went straight to my reflection in the mirror. I traced a finger along the scar stretching from the middle of my throat to my right ear. When the stitches were removed, they left behind an ugly pink line. The scar had faded, but was still noticeable. It's as though he branded me. My lip curled, and I dabbed at the dark smudges under my eyes. The bags made me appear older than my 24 years. I ripped my gaze from the mirror and picked the grime from under my fingernails, then quickly brushed my teeth and washed my face. Before leaving the bathroom, I threw my mess of hair into a ponytail, then made my way to the kitchen. Grams stood at the stove, humming and swinging her robust hips. I stayed in the doorway for a moment, watching her long, silver braids sway back and forth like a pendulum. A surge of affection propelled me to her side. I wrapped my arms around her waist and gave her a gentle squeeze.
"Good morning, Nina."
She patted my arm. I released her and took a seat in a rickety chair, scooting it up to the dining table. Grams placed a plate of bacon and eggs at my spot. She peered at me over the top of her glasses. Her brown eyes twinkled.
"You're up early. You don't need to start your chores for another hour."
I know. I couldn't go back to sleep. I pushed the fluffy eggs around the plate with my fork. To please Grams, I grabbed a piece of crispy bacon and nibbled one end. Papa wobbled into the kitchen then, the buttons on his flannel shirt straining across his belly. The deep-rooted lines on the sides of his mouth gave the impression that he was always frowning. He eased onto a chair and grunted, settling into a comfortable position. Grams kissed the top of Papa's bald head and set his breakfast on the table. He looked at me through cloudy green eyes.
"Morning, Sweet Pea. You're up early."
"I couldn't sleep," I said on a sigh.
"It's those darn nightmares, isn't it?"
My gaze dropped to my plate. Papa's fist came down hard on the table.
"The sentence he got doesn't nearly measure up to that guy's crime. That jerk should get the death penalty." "Stephen."
Graham spun around from her place at the stove, giving Papa a disapproving stare. We made an unspoken agreement when I moved to Kansas that we wouldn't mention my reason for leaving New York. Had Grams yelled at Papa for breaking our rule or for his outburst?
"I'm sorry, Janie, but that lame excuse for a man should be rotten in hell."
Papa's shoulders hunched, and he picked up his fork, stabbing it into his eggs. My throat burned. Don't cry. I took my plate to the sink, steering clear of Papa's pitiful gaze. Grams grabbed the dish from my hand.
"I'll get that."
I wrapped my arms around my middle, tears blurring my vision.
"Oh, honey,